Hey guys, welcome back to Sharon Cullen Art. Today I'm just going to be doing a simple craft project. It's something that I want to finish for my studio so that I can do my art studio tour. And a while back I had painted these letters, and I did it on video, but then I decided not to share it. Basically what I did was I painted my letters gold, and then I went over these letters with, at first I used just like gold acrylic paint, then I used some copper and a dark silvery color metallic paint and went over the edges and then just rubbed it with my fingers so that it looks like it's kind of oxidized on the edges of the letters like that. So I did these letters, and I had a piece of wood. I didn't know how I was going to attach them to the wall. They spell create, and I wanted to hang it up somewhere in here. And I had bought them for my old studio, and I held on to them for like 8 years and never did anything with them. So actually I did paint one of them. You may remember it in my old studio. It was on a shelf. It had a C, and then there was all this kind of little stuff painted on it. And I changed my mind on that. So I went with this gold. I went over it with the gold paint, and it really turned out nice. Even I've got a combination of cardboard letters and wood letters, and they're going to be staggered in different sizes, spelling out create. So then I went ahead and I stained a piece of wood, but the wood was such a close color to the gold in my lettering that it was just not coming out right. The letters weren't going to pop. So I decided that I wanted to whitewash it. I thought, well, maybe I'll paint it with white gesso and then go over it with white acrylic. And then I got down there and I thought, you know what, whitewashing might be better because I love the grain of the wood. So let's just go ahead. I'll show you the video. This is the board I decided I'm going to put it on, only the stain matches the letters too closely. So I've decided to paint it, or at least whitewash it, but I think I'm just going to paint it. And then after I'm done, all the letters will go on here. Let me see if I can zoom out for you. And they spell, you can probably tell already, something like that. So that's what it's going to look like when it's done. But I think I'm going to go ahead and paint the background white to match the wall, and then it'll mount right over the top of my TV up here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with it. Now, as I said in my intro, I decided to whitewash it. So I set the gesso aside and I pulled some white acrylic paint out, just put a dot down and kept using my spray bottle with water and just thinning it out to make it look like a whitewash. And I set it down on some glycine paper. So the water was kind of making it bunch up. I was afraid it was going to rip and then I'd have a problem. And I was just setting the letter down there to see how well it would pop, and decided to go over a little more with the paint, but I dabbed some of it off on my paper there. And then I had to get the edges, and I'm going to let it dry. Then I will put a coat of Krylon on it or something and put my letters on. I'm going to adhere my letters with wood glue, I believe. I like how it turned out whitewashed because I can still see the grain, which I love, and the letters will still stand out that you can see it. And hopefully the letters will pick up some shine. It was just cheap craft paint that I used, but I think the gold and the silver on it should work. So we'll see. So I'll just give it a quick spray coat of, I don't know, I'll use some Krylon or something instead, the clear coat. And then, because I have it in here and I don't want to walk all the way to the barn to get polyurethane, and it'll dry fast. But I need this to dry for a couple hours before I do that. So we'll see how it turns out. Stay tuned. Well, don't do what I just did because that was really, really stupid. I cut myself so bad. I think I got to go to the hospital because every time I see it, the blood just starts pouring out. I can't stop the bleeding. It's been bleeding like this for a long time. So video is on hold. This is on hold. Tour is on hold. And you know, my finger's really aching. I may have hit the bone. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go to the hospital now. Yeah, it's not going to stop bleeding. Bye-bye. Sorry, my body got in the way here on this, but basically I'm just taking the wood glue that I ended up cutting my hand trying to open yesterday and putting that on the back of the letters and realigning them on the board. Okay, well, as you saw, this is the result of my finger injury from yesterday. A day has passed. I went to the hospital and they glued my finger back together, which was very interesting. I've never had that before, but since it went across the knuckle, I ended up with this enormous dressing on that makes me look like I've amputated my hand. I mean, I have amputated a finger before. This one is much shorter than the other one. I had skin grafting from my arm. You can see the scar there from my arm where it was grafted back together. I was only 2.5, I think. Then in 2002, I amputated a toe partially, and that was just like 2 weeks after I had finished the 60-mile breast cancer walk. It was the first one in the state of Michigan at the time. And then, I've done all sorts of stuff. I've broken my arms twice. The second time was both at the same time. And, oh, now I'm getting a phone call. That was awesome. That was my pain clinic. You guys all remember what happened to me last month. And my guy came back, my PA. So I just got my appointment rescheduled with him rather than that awful one. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I mean, I'm just like Calamity Jane, Calamity Sharon, as they say. And when I went to get my finger done, they said to me, Sharon, when was the last time you had a tetanus shot? I said, oh gosh, it's probably been more than 10 years. I'm probably overdue. And they said, well, we'll check. And they looked online. And of course, now most hospital systems are all integrated. So they said, oh no, you had one done in 2016. And I thought, well, what the heck did I do? I don't remember getting stitches or having any cuts or open wounds. I said I had surgery in 2015 on my neck. You don't need a tetanus shot for surgeries. And I said, I broke my ankle 4th of July weekend plein air painting a few years back. And I said, I really don't know. So I was like, well, what the heck did I do? I know what I did. Now it's coming to me. I was cutting watermelon and sliced across my thumb. I still have the scar here, and I needed like 7 stitches across my thumb. It's always this hand because I'm a lefty. And the knife slipped on the watermelon, or the watermelon rolled is what it was, and then I cut my hand. So that's what it was. I couldn't remember what it was. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So I ended up with this huge dressing because they glued me back together, and it's like going partially across my knuckles. So if I bent it all, it would pop the glue loose. So I got this big, enormous, I can't say that word, male body part looking bandage on my finger. Looks like I took half my finger off. It's very dramatic, but I think I can take it off tomorrow and then just bandage it with a regular bandage because the glue will be dry and, it's not going to pop loose. At least I hope not. I needed to give my skin a couple days to kind of fuse back together again. But anyway, so back to what I was doing. Now, all I got to do here is I need to put 2 eye screws in either side on the back and then put my wire on. Then I can hang it above my TV or my aquarium up there that you can see part of. and it'll sit up there and it'll be all done. So I'm excited to finally have it done. And I like the whitewash effect. I think that really worked out well because the stain, the colors were way too similar. So the whitewash is working out great. So now I'm gonna start on the studio tour. Oh, excuse that hideous painting in the background. That was one of my first paintings I ever did in acrylic. I mean, it looks horrible. But I had a girlfriend who wanted it. I said, well, I'm throwing it away, so you can just have it. So I'm giving it to her. But I'm going to do my studio tour, but not today. You guys aren't going to see it today. That'll be a different video, but it'll be the next one after this, I think. I hope. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, it's coming up very soon. So in the meantime, you guys remember, be courageous, paint with wild abandon, and most of all, be kind to each other. Take care, everyone. God bless you. Bye-bye.